Your CPA goes up every time you try and scale your ad spend inside one of your ad accounts. This is a very, very common issue that a lot of brands are facing, which are preventing them from scaling their brand any further. You need to spend more on Meta, Google, and whatnot in order to scale your brand. That's how it is in 2025. So what this issue means is that it's time for you to switch up your paid ad strategy. And that's exactly what I'm going to cover in this video today. How you're going to do it, what needs to go into it, everything. So I'll show you the systems that we use to systematically scale our D2C e-commerce clients here at Profida and what it takes to become a market leader within any industry or niche. What you'll have by the end of this video is our frameworks that you can use for your own brand, which will give you clarity. And that is probably the most important thing to have in 2025. It's clarity around who it is that you're trying to target, who it is that you're trying to communicate to, and how you can effectively make them buy your product or your service. My name is Emil. I'm the founder of Profida, which is a performance-based growth agency where we help ambitious B2C brands scale and grow to 6 and 7 figures through paid ads, content management, and strategic consultancy. I've managed more than 8 million euros in paid ads across multiple channels. I've generated my clients more than 35 million in revenue through paid ads, and I've worked extensively with more than 50 different B2C brands across Europe. I started my own agency 4 years ago, and this is where I've come so far. So just to show you some results, the past 90 days, we have worked with this Romanian supplement brand who we have helped scale 376% in this quarter so far. There's also this Norwegian supplement brand who we have worked with for more than a year now, where we came in when they were doing 250,000 NOK per month, and now they scaled here. You can see this curve right here. They've scaled to 3 million NOK in a month, which is more than 1,000% in growth. Then there's this UK fitness brand who we have helped scale the past 90 days since working together by 23%. Nothing crazy. What we actually want to look at here is the online store revenue that are coming in, 32% in this quarter or in this last 90 days that we worked with them. You can see that they have also different channels where they get their revenue from. But this is a sustainable and healthy growth for this client, actually above the targets that we set. But there are some mistakes that many e-commerce stores they make. 9 out of 10 e-commerce stores, they make the same mistake when they try and scale. First, they scale the wrong ads and they turn off the ad account backbones, or the heart of your ad account, you can say. And this is very detrimental, because if you're not spending your money, which is this sense is just leverage, if you're not spending the money on the right ads, then your ad account or your brand falls apart. It's impossible for you to scale if you're spending the money on the wrong things. So I'll show you what spending money on the right things actually mean later in this video. So stick around for that. But number 2 is that they don't understand the leverage that communicating in awareness stages truly gives. And I'll also speak into that later in this video. As well as the third thing, which is that they look at individual channel performance and not their marketing efficiency ratio as a whole. Like we call it, or it is MER, marketing efficiency ratio. This is a very good benchmark or metric to hold your entire marketing performance up against, where you just simply take the amount of money that you put into ads, so ad spend, or you divide your revenue rev divided by ad spend, and then you have your MER. And this is a very fundamental metric to monitor. But you will in this video learn everything is a system, and especially when it comes to your ad account and the performance here. So the prerequisites to actually scaling an ad account is the content that you are creating here. I'm not the first one to come here and say that content is the most important thing in 2025 when it comes to scaling an ad account. It's by no means me who's saying this the first time. But I'm going to show you the level of analysis that you have to make in order to create really directed and targeted content that you need in order to scale your brand. So what we always do when we onboard a new client is that we start with the brand and value proposition. We do a deep dive into this so that we have an understanding of the brand and the value that we propose, or the value that we're trying to give off to our customers. Then we do a 5 W's analysis and persona identification, because when we know who it is that we are trying to communicate to, then we can direct our content much more towards this type of person. How do they speak? What type of issues are they facing? what are their objections, what are the benefits that they're looking for, what is their failed solutions that they have tried in the past, which are now making them skeptical, what is their sophistication level in the market. These type of things are very, very, very important to know when you're trying to create really, really powerful ads in your top funnel and in your bottom funnel. Then we align the hero products with these personas. And then we also look into the content environments that we want our products to be displayed in, or we want our brand to be represented in. So these are the 4 things. And what you have when you have done this is that you have extreme clarity around who it is that you're trying to talk to, how your content should be displayed, how you're gonna align your hero products to your different personas. This is very important when you're trying to scale. You cannot just insert ads in an ad account anymore. Those days are long gone. Obviously, you can just try and throw something in there and see if something sticks. But when you're trying to scale, then what you need is a system where you are constantly testing new angles, new personas, that are then unlocking audiences. And what I mean by that is that if I draw a circle here, and let's say that this is your entire market. Let's just say that you're a supplement store or a supplement brand that are selling magnesium. Magnesium comes with different health benefits. Some people take it because of muscle soreness. Let's just say that this is one part of the entire market. Another part of the market takes it because it makes them sleep better at night. If you're only banging in on this problem right here, or this feature, or this benefit right here, then you're missing out on another gigantic portion of the audience. Let's say that the third part of the audience was this small, and that's the audience that you were currently communicating to. Then you have a very big issue when it comes to scaling, because you're not speaking to the entire market with different angles, because people buy for different reasons. That's something that are very important to remember when you're trying to scale your brand or your D2C brand. This is really the full funnel approach that you have to take when you're trying to scale a brand from, let's say, 50,000 euros to 250,000 euros or 500,000 euros or 1 million euros per month in revenue. The goal here is that you transition into a full funnel approach, as it focuses on establishing a brand in the mid to long term, whilst also focusing on short-term growth. These days where you could just post or do a conversion campaign on Meta and just say that, hey, you want more purchases and here's an ad, and have it perform at a ROAS of 5. These are long gone. You cannot do that anymore. You have to be so much more mindful about what goes into your funnel. Why is this here? Why are you speaking to this exact audience? What are you trying to test? What are you trying to accomplish? If you're not doing this, then somebody else is, and they're just going to generate 10x better results than you are, because they're so much more mindful about what goes into their funnel as a whole. Number 2 is that you build out the content mix with videos and statics that supports the entire funnel. I'm going to show you this as well later in this video, how you support an entire funnel with videos and statics. And number 3, you build a funnel that supports all levels of awareness and market stages. If you've not heard of the 5 awareness stages there are, then it's the unaware people, it's the problem-aware people, the solution-aware people, and lastly, the most aware. When you start to separate your communication in these 5 stages, this is where you'll find that you cannot communicate to a problem-aware person the same way as you would to someone who's product-aware. They don't yet understand what product is there to solve their problem, right? So this is very important when you're trying to scale your ad account and when you're trying to scale your brand as a whole. So when we do this analysis, we start with the value proposition. These 2 things is what is going to be brand identity. That's what you get when you have fully understood the value proposition and the secondary value proposition. The main thing that attracts customers to you and the secondary thing that attracts customers to you. Then there's going to be the differentiation. How do we differentiate ourselves within the market? Let's just go back to the supplement store again and say that, we're a magnesium brand and we're selling magnesium pills. But our magnesium has a much more scientific approach to it than that of the competition. Maybe the competition, they get produced their magnesium in like China, but we want to have much more clear, much more quality magnesium than the rest of our competition. So we get our magnesium produced in Germany in a lab tested environment. Like you can see how we're now taking a different approach to to the rest of the market. What is our claim to fame going to be? What is our mission? Well, our mission is to go ahead and make, let's say again, magnesium easily accessible to that of the Danish population. And our mission is to educate our customers about the lifelong benefits of taking magnesium. Just coming up with something on the top of my head here. But your claim to fame is something that you can always return to when you're trying to make decisions in your business as well. So why you? Why would customers choose you over that of your competition? Maybe they have tried different things in the market before, but they have not found a magnesium formula that works well for them. But you have, and you also have a test that people can take in order to find out if your magnesium product is something that they would benefit from taking. Something that makes customers choose you over that of your competition. And what are the payoffs? Let's say that you have a loyalty program, or you have really, really good referral options, or you have a VIP. I don't know, like you have some sort of benefits here that, when buying from you, you're better off as a customer from buying from you than that of the competition. Could be many different things here as well. And what is it that you want to be known for? This is also important. All of this, when you have answered all of these things, is that it gives you clarity. And that leads us to the next thing. And this is probably the most important thing when it comes to creating content and scaling a brand online, is the personas that you're trying to communicate to. All that an ad really is, like an ad on Meta or TikTok or anything, is communication to your targeted audience, to someone out there who could potentially gain or benefit from buying your products. So you need to convince them that whatever they're doing right now, they need to stop doing, and they need to get on your website to go ahead and buy the products that you have, because they solve a problem that they have right now. So the best way of really creating ads that convert is to do the market and persona research first. Like, understand, what is it that persona, your primary persona, buys? Like, who is your primary persona? What do they buy? Why do they buy based on emotions and desires? And why do they buy based on functionality? And why is it that they are currently not buying? What objections do they have? This is equally important to why they would buy. And how does this person communicate? This is really, really important, because when you start to communicate like your customers would, then you really, you camouflage your ads as if it was, native. You also speak to them, and this is something that builds a lot of trust. Builds a lot of trust when you're using the same words as they are. And what you'll find is that you don't just have a primary person. You also have a lot of sub-personas. So sub-persona 1, sub-persona 2, these are very, very different to one another. Let's go back and just take the magnesium example again. Like, sub-persona 1 here could have issues when they're trying to sleep at night, but sub-persona 2 could have sore muscles. And these are two different problems that they're facing. So when you're trying to communicate to them, you need to identify the problem and position your product as the main solution to their product, or to their problem, sorry. And again, if we say that, okay, you have many other products than just that of magnesium, then you're going to find that you have like 1 to 5 or 6, whatever, hero products that you really want to push and scale your brand with. But hero product 1 goes really well with sub-persona 1, but hero product 3 goes much better to sub-persona 2. These are just some of the things that you have to be aware of when you're trying to create ads that scale. Let me try and go down here, because what you have here is that you have clarity around how you're going to communicate to your audience and how you're going to scale your paid ads. So this 3-step analysis helps you understand what product, how we should communicate the product and brand, and in which environments is the next step. So here, I've just tried to outline for you, like, these are just the circles that we draw when we're looking into, like, how is this going to look from like a holistic point of view. So the audience goes here, or the target persona goes here, and the product goes here. And how we're going to position that in between that audience. Then the why, like, why do people buy, goes right here. the overall personality and the storyline of our brand. Like, how are we connecting our brand or our storyline with the audience? The brand that you have goes in here. This is just a center for everything, your brand. This sort of analysis, content environments, is really, really beneficial for you to understand in order to position your product where your audience is and in the environments that they are. So environments could be, let's say that you had a kitchenware brand. The environments here could really be that, for YouTube, for example, there would be chef influencers where, for example, Gordon Ramsay, he made like a very, very big promotion with the brand Hexclad, where he was using Hexclad pans and cookware in his videos. And this is just product placement. And product placement is a really, really good way of connecting with your future prospects. And that is the next point of this video, because this is the 4 market stages that you need to think in terms of when you're trying to scale your brand, and not just go from, let's say, 10,000 euros to 25,000 euros. And this is not substantial for you, but it's substantial for you if you're trying to go from, let's say, 100K in monthly revenue to 500K, because this is the type of awareness that you need to have of your audience and how you're communicating to them in order to maximize your funnel. There's future prospects, there's in-market prospects, there's immediate prospects, and then there's existing customers. These are the 4 market stages. And how you communicate to each and one of them are very, very different. Because future prospects, this is where you try and connect with your audience. You're not trying to sell them anything. You're trying to connect with them through authentic, inspiring, educational, and value-driven content. And most people get this wrong, or most businesses get this so wrong. They think that they have to sell throughout the entire funnel. But this is not the way to build a brand in the mid to long term, whilst also focusing on short-term growth. Future prospects, they require a whole nother nurturing strategy than that of your existing customers. But a future prospect is someone who is not yet in the market. They don't know they have a problem. They don't even know, that you maybe exist, but they are interested in something that your product does. So again, if we go back to just the Gordon Ramsay stuff, he promoted Hexclad for a long, long time. And Gordon Ramsay, he is obviously someone who's in the kitchen a lot. He creates content for this on YouTube, long form content that people who love cooking, they go to this platform and watches his long form content to become a better chef. But the medium that he uses, the one that gets him to cook really, really well, is the pans and the cookware. And this is what the audience picks up on. Oh, Gordon Ramsay is using this Hexclad pan. I might as well also invest into this. Or maybe they're not yet in the market for this, but they have definitely paid attention to what pans and cookware he's using. It's no joke. So this is how you can position your brand in between where your audience is and not directly sell to them. You're not trying to promote any offer and whatnot. But here, this is again something that we do for many of our clients when we're working with them, is that we try and specify the content strategies that we have to outline in the future prospecting stage and how we're going to connect with that audience. And that leads us to the in-market prospects. Here we want to show interested users our products and we want to convert them. So how are we going to show interested users our products? Well, we can do that through paid ads. We can do that through retargeting. So people who have seen, let's say, 50% of this Gordon Ramsay video or 50% of one of our reels that we have posted organically, we want to make sure that we're retargeting them with some sort of offer or some sort of tips and tricks content, some sort of pro UGC where you are really presenting your product as the solution to a problem that your audience is facing. In this market stage, this is where content formats and I mean like us versus them, problem solution, benefit highlight, these sort of formats. There's one format here that works extremely well for so many different D2C brands when it's executed properly, and that is the problem solution format. The problem solution format is essentially a format that are built to move people through the different awareness stages. So When you're trying to target someone who is in the market but may not know about your products yet, you need to start by identifying a problem that they have and then presenting the solution to them, which is your product. And the reason why speaking to a problem-aware audience is so beneficial for a brand that are trying to scale is because there are going to be more people that are problem-aware than that are going to be solution-aware. It's always going to be like, as you go down, you can try and see like, let's just say that we have a circle here. Half of this circle is problem aware. Let's just say that it's these guys over here. They're problem aware, but only like 20% are solution aware. So if you're trying to just talk to people who are solution aware, you're not going to talk to that many people. And that's how you're not going to get scale on your ads. Like, you need to speak broadly, and then you're trying to shrink in your audience the longer and longer people is coming into your content. And that leads me to the immediate prospects. Here you want to convert users that have shown interest. So people who have gone onto the website, people who have watched X amount of your videos, people who have liked and commented on your Facebook and Instagram profiles, people who have interacted with your brands. How can you convert these users to buyers? Well, you could promote them some sort of offer. There could be scarcity, there could be urgency, there could be some sort of promotional content that are going into this. But here, what you will see is that statics, picture ads, they will start to work really, really well. Statics typically don't work that well when you're trying to future prospect or when you're trying to in-market prospect. Statics are just not that good content when you're trying to build like more brand familiarity, or when you're trying to establish a stronger connection with a potential customer or a future prospect. You want to create content, video content in these market stages. But here there are obviously, again, specific content strategies that goes into this. And lastly, existing customers. How are you going to build continuous brand awareness and brand ambassadors in the long run? Well, here it could be loyalty programs, referral programs. It could be that you have let's say a community for your existing customers. Let's say that, again, we go back to like the Gordon Ramsay story with Hexclad. Let's say that for people who have bought your products, they also become a part of an online community where you share recipes and all that kind of stuff. What you do with your existing customers, and when existing customers become really potent, is when you activate them inside a big community where they can interact with each other, where you can give them tips and tricks, and you can control what is put in front of this audience at all times. Also, a newsletter is, of course, very, very valuable to nurture your existing customers. But let me try and scroll down here. So this is how we would then segment these 4 market stages, the goals and KPIs, and the content objectives that we're trying to achieve for these different segments and these different market stages. So for the future prospects, our goal is not conversion. It's brand awareness and it's reach. It's video views. It's video retention. Having people consume more of our content is very, very beneficial for us in the long run, because the more people consume our content, the more likely they are of purchasing one of our products in the long term. So here we want to connect, again, with users through authentic, inspiring, educational, and value-driven ads. So education is something that you can disguise like many of your pitches within, just like this video right here. Like, yes, I'm giving you educational content, but you're also seeing like, okay, what is it that I know? So it is essentially a pitch, right? So here, there's research that you can tap into, like people who are searching for, again, that problem that they're facing, and you're now coming up. You're then just giving them something of value. You're not trying to sell to them. And then there's the in-market prospects. Again, here we can start talking about CAC to LTV. We can start talking about ROAS, CAC, clicks, all of these metrics. Here, how we're going to show interested users our products is going to be through, like, let's say, reviews on YouTube. It could be pro UGC. It could be tips and tricks content. It could be offers. So you would obviously not be able to give these type of content objectives to someone who is in the future prospecting stage. Then there is the in-market prospects. How are we going to communicate to them, and what is our goals and KPIs? It's very much the same to the in-market prospects. It's again CAC LTV, ROAS, CAC, and clicks. And then it is that we want to convert these users through urgency, sales promos, dynamic ads like DPA ads on Meta, and how to use content. People are not receptive to a how to use ad if they don't even know the solution yet. So here they want to know how to use the product. And this is a piece of content that moves someone to the most aware stage. So last stage of the funnel or the segment is existing customers. Here our goal is brand and brand retention. And again, we're looking at ROAS, CAC, clicks, reach, and video views, and video retention as a whole. Again, we want to continue educating our customers. We want to have creators and authority roles in the brand that are helping people reassure that what they have bought and what they have bought into is the right and the best solution for them. And again, we want to provide more research and more native content. Something that a lot of brands also miss, or at least those brands that are kind of like stuck with 50K, 100K, maybe even more than this in monthly revenue, is that they are not focusing enough on the future prospecting stage and the in-market prospecting stage. And the way you do this is really just by giving out content that are free to watch, where you can educate your customers about your products, your service, all of this stuff. It is so valuable in order to drive long-term growth that you do this. So getting started with Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels, TikToks, Snapchats, posting on these channels, YouTube, for longer video consumption. This is so valuable for a lot of different brands out there. So I want to show you here like what it actually looks like for ad accounts that are spending less than 10,000 euros per month on Meta. So Meta is obviously our main channel that we scale our clients from. But here, this is a client where these two ads up here, those are videos. And if we just draw this back to the 4 market stages, here we're really speaking to our future prospects and in-market prospects. You can see here they're taking the majority of the spend. This is all set within one campaign, so they are all fighting for the same spend here. And this is essentially like 1.5K euros spent per week right now. And here they've spent 2,800 lei on this one ad, but it's only generated an NC ROAS of 1.6. One would look at this and be like, okay, I need to turn these ads off because they're taking the majority of the spend, but they're not performing. I want to spend more on these ads down here because, as you can see, they're generating much higher ROASs. But this would be a fundamental mistake when you're trying to scale your ad spend and when you're trying to scale your brand. And here's why. These two ads up here, they are really, really good at connecting with your audience, building a relationship with them, and filling your funnel with potential customers. Not necessarily generating that first purchase as soon as they see this ad. These are the heart of your ad account, and they are what unlocks the rest of your ad account. Because down here you can see like these are all static ads, really, like all pictures that have like very easy to understand messaging on them, and they all perform really well because people have already been educated up here inside this ad. So what you instead want to look at is not really the individual ad performance as a whole. You want to look at your campaign performance as a whole. And in this case, we're performing at an NC ROAS of 2, meaning a new customer ROAS of 2. So the actual ROAS is higher here, but an NC ROAS of 2 for this brand is very, very good. And it's very profitable long term. So this is something that we can even scale. Another point to make to this ad account example right here is the frequency levels, because this is something that you want to look into when you're trying to scale your brand. Because what you will start to notice if you have a lot of static ads is that the frequency on your ads is very, very high. And that's really bad, because if we go into like unlocking your entire audience, if you're just constantly if you're constantly flooding ads into this part of the audience, then there's so much untapped potential that you have not yet reached. And that is because you have not created ads that are reliable to scale your ad account. that are good at connecting with future prospects or in-market prospects who just don't know about your product's existence and the solution that they provide. Here, there's another example, and this account spends like 20,000 euros per month. So here we have a stronger bottom funnel with a bigger variety in content, because up here we wouldn't really have like any bottom funnel or mid funnel or top funnel. Like we just throw everything into one ad campaign, which is an Advantage Plus campaign, and then we let Meta distribute the content based on the messaging and the communication that goes into these ads. But here, if I go back to this example right here, this account spends like 20,000 euros per month, and here we have a stronger bottom funnel with bigger content variety as well. But again, you can see that this is for a monthly basis, a monthly overview. But here you can see that there are ads that are taking vast majority of the spend. Like these free ads, they take up pretty much like 60-70%, even more, of the entire top funnel campaign spend. But they are not necessarily the ads that are performing at the highest ROAS. And this is another key learning for you if you're trying to scale your ad account in 2025, is that your top funnel ads unlocks your funnel. And you don't necessarily want to hit your target CPA, your target ROAS here. Like you can be okay with being a little below your target CPA, because as I said, it unlocks the rest of your funnel. If you clicked off you turned off these ads right here, what you would actually see is that your ad account starts to perform even worse, because there are no other ads inside this ad account that Facebook has tested that can sustain these levels of spends. You want to find the ad accounts that can sustain high levels of spends while also remain somewhat profitable, because obviously these ads unlocks the rest of your funnel. So you can see here they're performing at a ROAS 2, performing at a ROAS 3.9, 3.4. So when we go into the bottom funnel here, then we can start to look into like, okay, how is our bottom funnel performing as a whole? And our bottom funnel is performing much, much, much better, because we have really strong problem solution videos up here. Our entire top funnel for this ad or ad campaign, this client here, is just videos presenting the problem and the solution. Just speaking to that audience, where what we're testing on here is the different angles that we can present the problem in, and with different creators in different environments. That's just how we're testing here. But down here, this is where we can make how to use ads. We can create different offers, different promotions. We can have dynamic ads, DPA ads. We can have specific ads run down here that are then like gonna perform at a much higher level, because people who then reach our bottom funnel, they are fully aware of what it is that we're trying to sell them and what it is that they're buying when they're buying from us. This right here is how we systematically scale ad accounts with real examples right here. Like everything that goes into it, all of the preparation, all of the clarity that you need to have when you're trying to create content that works at scale and scales a D2C brand. So if you're interested in scaling your D2C brand and you want to know what it's like working with us, then go ahead and sign up for a free conversation with me. Sign up for a growth evaluation in the description of this video, and we'll jump on a 15 to 20 minute call and figure out if there's potential to work together. Other than that, I really hope that you got a lot of value from watching this video, and if not, I don't know what to tell you. Have a nice day, and bye bye.